Finally done it. It's taking me 6 months to make my first dollar online. Of course, with the amount of money I'm making right now, like 800 per month, that's nothing, right? But to wake up every single day, go to sleep every single day, thinking about something, every single action I take every single day, anything I do, there's always one thing on my mind, which is my entrepreneurial journey. Every single thing I've done has been thinking about getting money. To finally accomplish that, obviously right now, it feels like nothing because now I'm just focused on the next goal. Still, it feels good. Again, like I said, even though I'm just focused on the next goal now, I think your accomplishments can only truly be appreciated and internalized when you've put in a substantial amount of work for them. Just think about if you were given $10,000 or if you win the lottery for sake. Obviously, that's an extreme example, but you're not going to feel satisfied. You're not going to feel happy at all because you put in no work to get that. You look at cavemen, they were happier getting food every day because they ran for hours, expended their muscles in order to get that food. But us, we just have it at our disposal right inside of the pantry. So of course we're not going to appreciate it as much. I want to say one thing I've learned is you have to stop worrying about 8 months down the line, a year down the line, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Of course, business is a long-term game, but you have to just focus on putting one foot in front of the other. This whole time, every time I did the shiny object syndrome, hopping from this business model to this business model to this, I was always thinking about, which one is gonna make me $50,000 per month, in the first 2, 3 months. And that's just stupid. If you look at any business model or any skill, anything out there, there is somebody who is making substantial amounts of money. If you look at their net worth, you would think they sell drugs, right? There's somebody out there for literally everything, right? Let me just think of something stupid. There's millionaires out there selling cat litter. There's guys who've probably gotten millions drop shipping Labubu dolls. Even if your niche is not lucrative and what you're doing is not lucrative, if you become the best and you're number one at that thing, you're gonna become extremely rich. So through this treacherous 6 months of me throwing nails in the dark, seeing if one would land, once an opportunity finally opened up, I took it. Why? Because it's an improvement. I was making 0 and now I'm making 800 per month. So you have to put one step in front of the other. And of course now my next goal is to make 2,000 per month. And as you go on, you gradually keep improving. You don't build muscle overnight. I know I don't record videos often, but this whole channel is built around my journey and documenting everything from the start to when I become rich. And honestly, it feels good because this is the start. This is just the start. The next thing I want to say is it's really not about the money. Of course, I am aiming for the whole reason I'm doing all this is to get money, right? But what is the difference between the person who has $1 billion in his bank account and somebody who can't afford a meal? It's the person they are. It's the knowledge they have. It's their mentality. The only reason I'm making the money I am now and I wasn't 2, 3 months ago was because I'm a completely different person. I have new skills, I have new knowledge, and most importantly, I have a new mentality and different rigor into my work. The reason I'm so excited for what's to come, and I have no doubt in my mind, this is just the beginning, is because of how this past month has shaped me as a person. During the last video, I was talking about school starting, right? Since then, I've literally gotten no sleep. There are weeks where every single night I literally get like 4 hours of sleep. Having to wake up feeling like an absolute zombie, get energy sucked and drained out of me for 8 hours, spend another hour coming back home, eat my first meal of the day, and then I get to start working on the things that are actually gonna have an impact on my future. It's built me into a person I never believed I would become this early, which is absolutely a good thing, of course. With what I want to do, who I want to become, what I want to achieve, school is the dumbest thing for me right now. But looking back now, it's actually a blessing. Having the balanced school, getting such little amounts of sleep, it leaves you with no time. If I want to accomplish the things I want to accomplish, there's tasks I need to get done. I do not have time for anything else. The pain of being chronically exhausted and having to keep your eyelids open every single day does things to you that not many other things in this world can. Because I've gone through that, with this new person I've become and this new strength that I've acquired, when I apply that to the work that I'm doing, it's inevitable for me to win. And that's why I pray that God continues to put me through such grueling environments, because it literally shapes you into the person you need to become in order to accomplish what you want to. See, right now, let's say maybe I'm not putting in enough hours and enough time into my craft in order to get the money that I want to in the future. But because I'm in school, because I'm so exhausted every single day, because I'm putting in so much effort into my life, by the time I'm outside of school, God knows what I'm going to be able to do. Think about the strongest people you know, some of the men that you look up to, your idols, who are so intelligent, have so much wisdom, and have so much strength, discipline, rigor towards their craft. Why do you think they're the way they are? Do you seriously believe that they didn't go through certain hardships? You don't think that they had a harder life than everyone around them? Of course they did. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that my life is hard, my environment is, I have a roof under my head. I have good food to eat every single day. I've never had to wonder when I'm going to eat my next meal, which is exactly why I've had to create that environment myself. I've had to put myself in a position where I'm getting 4 hours every single night, having to go to school, forcing myself to keep my freaking eyelids open, and coming back and still working until what, like 2, 3 a.m. God bless that I didn't have to go through that unwillingly because of my environment. I decided to put myself through that, and that's why I'm becoming a stronger person. I don't have to do the work when I come home. But one, I know that it's building me into a stronger person. But two, most importantly, that's the work that's necessary for me to get to the point I want to be at. And anyways, don't take my word for any of this stuff, because at the end of the day, what you say you do and your word, that means absolutely nothing, because your results are going to show that already. Your results are a direct correlation to the work that you're putting in. At least now, the $400 I received the other day is proof that what I'm doing is somewhat working. I just like to come on here, and obviously you guys already know this. I've said this so many times. This is for me to document my journey, mark it in history. But I also just like to come on here sometimes and share my thoughts. But don't take my word for any of this stuff, because my results will show. When people are attracted to certain individuals in society, do you think they like somebody or are attracted towards somebody because of what they said they're going to do, or how much work they said they put in, or any of that stuff? No. They're attracted to somebody because of the watch they have on their wrist, or how much money they've accumulated, or what they've accomplished. It doesn't even have to be money related, because your results literally show all of that. Nobody cares. People want to be around winners. And what do winners do? They have results to show for it. They've won. And that's the last thing I want to talk about. Winners. No matter what time period you look at, you always see there's a few people in society who, no matter what they're put through, what circumstances they're given, what environment they're in, they always seem to come out on top. Some people just have that burning desire to win no matter what. They will not allow themselves to fall behind others. This goes for athletes, entrepreneurs, scientists, philosophers, literally anybody in history. You know, the funny thing is, if you go back all the way in time, right, what did it take to become number one in society, to be the best? The most strong, brilliant, focused men of today's society would have been the weakest 300, 400 years ago. And the reason for that is because our environment keeps becoming worse and worse, and structured in ways to keep us dumbed down, weak, stupid. You have all these phones everywhere. You have the crappy foods in grocery stores. You have all these distractions around us. So what am I trying to say? Many of you are going to think I'm going to say it's easier to win nowadays. But it's not. It's not easier because you have those distractions. Because you have, millions of videos to spike amazing emotions at your disposal. Because you have access to some super sweet treat just in your pantry. So this means all it takes to win now is to avoid the distractions. If you block out all the crap that's in our environment nowadays, all you have time for in your day-to-day is work. All you have time for is to do the things you know you need to do in order to get to where you want to be. Even something as simple as walking outside, no music, no phone, nothing. Just walking by yourself in silence already puts you ahead of majority of people in terms of wisdom. It gives you room to think. And going back to winners, why do people even have such strong desires to win? And I think at the core, it was always about status. People want to be deemed as number one, the best, for the sake of gaining status. Back then in history, in order for you to have high status, you needed to be the strongest warrior amongst millions. You needed to have hunted the most animals. You need to have survived the most amount of battles. You need to have killed as many people. All it takes nowadays to gain that same level of status in today's society is for you to sit down on your computer and press some buttons. Sorry about that, my microphone died. I guess my whole life I've always been competitive. Played a couple sports. I swam on a team. I played tennis. I also played like instruments and stuff. And I guess the common factor between all those things is just a burning desire to win. You know, I don't do any of those things anymore just for the sake of when I sat down and thought about the scheme of things, I realized I wouldn't be, swimming when I'm 20, or I wouldn't be playing tennis after high school, or, saxophone, jazz, I probably am not going to do after high school. But money is something adults continue to work for the rest of their lives, right? So this is clearly the type of game that I want to be playing. And I will not lose. I will win. At the end of the day, life really is a video game. You go around and collect whatever items you want. You know, in these games, you collect those collectible items, the skins, all that stuff. That's the same as real life. The cars, the watches, the whatever. I'm just having fun playing the game. And it's obviously a hard game, but I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited for the hills I'm going to have to climb, and I'm pumped to get at it. And I'm also grateful to have the ability to even get at it. I'm grateful to be alive, have the energy to work towards these things, have the brain to think and function. These are things we take for granted every single day. I was trying to end the video off, but I guess this is another topic I could talk about, is gratitude, in the sense that everybody loves to talk about how grateful they are. Thanksgiving's coming up this month. You know, people say, oh, I'm so grateful for my family. I'm so grateful for all the things I have in this world, and of course that's beautiful, that's great, but are you really grateful when you sit on the couch? Are you really grateful when you eat crappy food? God gave you this beautiful, beautiful human body, capable of so many things, of so much strength, so much speed, so much energy, and you ruin it every single day by putting crap food in your body. If you're not eating 100% clean, whole foods, are you really grateful for your body? So you take advantage of that until it's too late, until you're sick, until you're hospitalized, until you really start seeing signs of your actions. Or let's say when you choose not to work, are you really grateful for your circumstances? If you're grateful for your energy, if you're grateful for the cognitive ability that you have, you would use that and work. Your gratitude is shown through your actions. Your words mean nothing, and I've said this earlier in this video. If you're grateful for the things you say you are, show it through your actions. So, end of the video. I'm grateful for this opportunity. I'm excited for what's to come, and I'm going to get back to work. See you guys later.